Hello, welcome back to another video. As promised in my last vlog, I'm going to talk about my quarterly favorites for the second quarter of the year. This will be a short one because I only have 3 books that kind of stood out to me throughout the last 3 months, and also I have to leave in like 20 minutes, so yeah, this will be a quickie. I'm coming live to you in the midst of, well, not live, but I'm coming to you in the midst of my Taylor Swift post-concert depression, so I figured talking about books might cheer me up. It's been, okay, today's Sunday and I went to the second concert on Wednesday, so it's been like 3 or 4 days, and today's the first day I actually feel like a human again. So I thought, why not make use of this newfound energy and yeah, talk about some favorite books of mine. Right, I have 2 physical copies and then one of the books I actually read on my Kindle, which I have to say I'm so in love with. This was the best purchase. Well, I got it for my birthday, but if you're thinking about, or if you have been thinking about getting a Kindle, by the way, this is not sponsored. Also, we don't have to talk about Jeff Bezos, but still, if you have been thinking about getting one, highly suggested. I love reading on this, and also you can access so many libraries. It's amazing. Anyway, let's start with the first book, which is Blue Sisters by Coco Melor. I read this in April, I want to say. I think April, I'm not quite sure. Look at this floppy edition. Okay, I will not shut up about this book. Everything kind of reminds me of this book. I keep mentioning random facts about this book, like, oh yeah, actually there's this da-da-da happening in Blue Sisters, or actually one of the sisters is a boxer, or da-da-da. So yeah, I can tell that this book had a huge impact on me. I gave 5 stars to this book. This is a very strong contestant for my favorite book of the year, I have to say, and I feel like I will be rereading this throughout time. Yeah, this is about, as you can probably tell, the Blue Sisters. So there are 3 sisters. There used to be 4, one of them passed away, and the story depicts how they kind of deal with the 4th sister's death. And what kind of brings them back together is that the parents are trying to sell their flat in New York. So the story is structured around the sale of the flat and shows how the sisters are kind of coming home in order to say goodbye to the flat, say goodbye to certain memories. And this coming home kind of triggers certain behaviors, certain relationship dynamics the sisters have with each other and with their parents. Yeah, I love a book that is written from different characters' perspectives, and we get 1 chapter from Lucky's perspective, 1 chapter from Bonnie's perspective, and so on. And I really like, yeah, these perspectives and these points of views. What I enjoyed about this also is her writing style, which I had already quite enjoyed when I read her first book. And yeah, I'm very excited where Coco Melor will go. I feel like she will, or now she's one of these authors for me that when they publish a new book, I'm on it, I'm locked in. Also, when I recently went to London, they had this cute display at Foyle's Books, which I will insert a picture of somewhere here, because all of the different sisters are living in different cities, and they had these like banners with their names on it, and then like landmarks of that city, of that respective city. So yeah, I cannot escape this book, and I won't stop recommending this. So please go and read this. It's so good. I feel like also if you have siblings, and especially if you have sisters, you might really connect with this. I feel like, I don't have any sisters, but I feel like she describes this kind of very special relationship in such a good way. Actually, I feel like the quote the text opens up with is perfect. It says, "A sister is not a friend. Who can explain the urge to take a relationship as primal and complex as a sibling and reduce it to something as replaceable, as banal as a friend?" I feel like this is the perfect foreshadowing for the dynamic that will take place in this book between the sisters. So yeah, this is the first favorite of the quarter. Now we're switching gears. I have to hold on to my Kindle because I feel like I can talk better when I have something in my hand. It's like I can dance better if I have a drink in my hand. So I'm holding on to my Kindle for emotional support. I switched gears, kind of, for the next one, and I didn't think I would actually mention this author on my channel ever again, because I read one of her books which I didn't enjoy. But yeah, my second favorite of the second quarter of the year is actually Funny Story by Emily Henry. Who would have thought? Not me. I really needed something lightweight because I was reading all these very serious books. We were reading Of Mice and Men for the book club, for example, and also I was watching something which really got me down. What was I watching? I don't remember, but I was watching something which did not invoke happy feelings. So I was like, okay, I need a break. I need something lighthearted. I need something that I can just read and then, you know, fall asleep and not think about it too much. So Emily Henry had just published her new novel, and I thought, okay, why not? Let's give her a try. I know so many lit fic readers that actually enjoy her books, and I thought, okay, maybe she is the romance writer for the lit fic girls. And what can I say? I really enjoyed it. I mean, there were certain passages where I was like, oh my god, this is so cheesy, but you know, I was aware that I was reading a romance novel, so it didn't bother me that much. I really liked the way that she wrote these characters. I really liked the storyline in general of these two people whose respective partners left them in order to be together. So they kind of get into this fake relationship to attend their wedding. Does that make sense? I hope this makes sense. I feel like people who read romance novels really know how to describe them, because they can like just hit certain tropes and certain, I don't know, expressions that I'm very much not familiar with. So I hope this makes sense. Anyway, yeah, I had a great time. That's all I can say. And I keep recommending this book to everyone who's kind of on the fence when it comes to reading an Emily Henry book. I'm like, yeah, what can I say? I had a great time. You should read this. So, funny story. Funny story indeed. Funny story, me liking an Emily Henry book. Not to say that I'm like, special, but I just usually don't connect with these kinds of novels. So, but I did. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because there is no shame in reading. And, well, maybe a little bit. No, okay, let's not get into this. But yeah, it was definitely my second favorite of this quarter. Finally, maybe not necessarily a favorite, but definitely a book that stood out to me and that I had a special experience with, which is All Fours. I always think it's On All Fours, but it's All Fours by Miranda July. This was my first Miranda July. I knew her from Portlandia. I'm a big Portlandia fan, and oh, there's a fly. Yeah, I knew her from some sketches on Portlandia, and I feel like I knew her from somewhere else, but I can't really remember. Anyway, this is weird girl fiction for grown-ups. This is weird woman fiction, I would say. You know how weird girl fiction centers around these unhinged girls in their 20s? This is being unhinged in your 40s, and I loved it. I know I've said this in a few videos now, but I really feel like I nowadays connect more to characters that are a little bit older and not necessarily in their 20s anymore. And this definitely falls into that category. The main character, I forgot her name. What's her name again? Maybe she doesn't have a name. Anyway, the main character is in her 40s and she's kind of going through this crisis, and she has a road trip coming up to New York where she wants, I think she's going there for work, but also she wants to visit some friends. And for some reason she lives in LA, and for some reason when she goes on this road trip, she gets stuck at this motel like 20 minutes outside of LA and kind of spends the entirety of her, what was meant to be the road trip, in this motel. And she meets these characters and she falls in love with this young guy, and yeah, it's just about her coming to terms with her identity, the different roles that she plays in her life, the mother, the wife, and who she as an individual is, I would say. So this is very much about identity. This is about age. This is about motherhood, definitely. And yeah, she was supposed to do a reading here, and then it got sold out within like, I don't know, seconds. And then it actually got cancelled. So, because first I was super sad because I really wanted to go, but I couldn't get tickets, and then it was cancelled. So at least I didn't miss it. But yeah, also something so funny happened to me. I was reading this on the tube, and there was this older lady. She was like in her 60s, and she asked me about this book. And she just asked me whether I'm enjoying it, and then we had a whole conversation, because then she told me that she used to study English literature, and then we talked about, you know, our degrees and yeah, the kinds of books we like to read, and she was super interested. And I recommended her this book because at that point I was reading it, I was like, yeah, this is a good book. But then the book got so horny. I mean, if she picked it up after our conversation, good for her. There is no age limit on horniness, I would say. But also, I felt a bit weird because I recommended this horny book to this older lady. But also, I feel like it's very much on brand for me. So anyway, not just recommending this to the lady I met on the tube, also recommending this to you. I'm sure you've seen this everywhere, so yeah, maybe give it a go. It's a roller coaster ride, but a very good one. So yeah, that's it. These were the 3 standout books I read within the second quarter of the year. I hope you got some inspiration. Maybe you even read some of these. If so, let me know in the comments what you thought about them. What were your favorite reads in April, May, and June? Also, let me know in the comments. Please make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye!